Hey everyone, how's it going? Really happy to be here. I am joined by Don Zoldi and Mike Pehel from the full crew team. Welcome to our very special stream. We're doing a live Q&A on the Dev Summit, and we're going to be talking about everything happening in the drone code and PX4 ecosystem. Hi, I'm going to welcome my guests. How's it down? How are you doing? Thank you for being
Doing
here.
awesome.
Mike, how's it going?
Well, happy to be here. Happy to be streaming again. So this is my second stream this week, and it seems like I'm getting back into streaming for a living.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You guys are doing a great job. I am actually going to be a guest of Downs in an episode coming soon, right? And we're going to do a Twitter space as well on June 14th.
We are, yeah.
Which one comes first?
Things coming up, Ramon.
Yeah, which one comes first? Is it the Twitter space or is it the Full Tilt Leadership, I guess?
It's Twitter Spaces on June 14th, and then the Leadership podcast, I believe, is right after that.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, really excited. And on the leadership one, I am sharing the stage with Sally French.
No, that's it.
Is that the one?
Ramon, that's the crew. I know it gets confusing, so
oh my god,
it's okay. The crew that you're doing is actually in July, and it is with Sally French. So that's our newscast that we're launching next Monday, June 6th at 9 a.m. Mountain. Our two guests next week are Romeo Dersher and Miriam McNabb. So Autirion and Drone Life, it's going to be awesome. And then the Tilt is our leadership podcast, and our first guest next Tuesday on the 7th is going to be Major General United States Air Force retired James Poss, a friend and a mentor of mine. So really excited for that. And you're going to be on both of these platforms, Ramon. And then we alternate the Tilt with a full crew Twitter Spaces. And we're just throwing people on there. We're going to talk news. We're going to talk leadership. We're going to talk about whatever our audience wants to talk about. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and we'll get to the summit in a second. I just wanted to make sure that we get this out as well because it's really important. I wanted to say that I think, like being in the drone industry for almost 10 years now, I think this is one of the things that was missing. Like just the fact that we could get together and just be out there, a platform that allowed us to talk about what's happening right now that is relevant to everyone in the industry, which is something that we used to only get at conferences. Like one on the side. Walking through the conferences, I remember talking to Mike Pehel on the Inner Drone and just walking through his show, and it just got so much info. And this is something that was missing, and I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we felt it was something that was missing too, especially like the unbiased opinion. Because I tried to run the show as much as I could that way, but like doing the podcast for the show, you could never do that. There's always like, the manager somewhere hovering like a ghost in the background. Like maybe we could get X brand on, and, the point of crew and the format and the way that we set it up with Tilt being its own thing is so that the crew can be this fully agnostic space where people can be, just open to talk about what the actual news is and how they feel about it. And, we've also invited our guests to share, which articles in the last week or two that they find relevant. So you're literally finding out in real time what the most important people in the industry actually care about.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm so excited because we've kind of started collaborating, offline, and the article that Romeo picked and the article that Miriam picked, I mean, it's going to be awesome. So really excited.
Yeah, I saw them this morning. They're great. I can't wait for that episode. And you're bringing so much value to the industry. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help putting that together, but also taking over today's stream, because today is all about the Dev Summit, but I am excited to be doing this for the first time with both of you. This is our first stream together, Dawn. Thank you for doing this. So why don't we jump right into topic? So today we're going to talk about the PX4 Developer Summit happening in 3 weeks from now, in June 23rd and 24th in Austin, Texas. So this is actually our fourth conference. Did the first one in 2019. Mike was there in Zurich, in Switzerland. We had a fantastic time in ETH in Zurich, but we've come so like a long way from then. And last 2 years we couldn't meet in person, but we're really excited to be finally meeting together with the community. There's so much to share, so I can wait to just get started. So right off the bat, Mike, you have been working with Drone Code for the last weeks, and you're helping me so much pushing the news and everything out for the Dev Summit. What are you the most excited about the Dev Summit?
I mean, I love meeting the smart people in the industry. If you remember, that was the second time I made it out to Zurich, and it was so contagious or so exciting when I got to kind of see the Auterian offices, Wingtra, etc., what was going on there, that I just had to make it back. And the Dev Summit was that. It's like visiting like a place like Genius NY in New York, where they have like all of these startups, but they're all focused on drones and aerial robotics. But then the Dev Summit is like a bigger version of that. So Dawn's the newbie. Dawn, what are you most curious about the summit? Like what's got you interested?
Well, I am very interested because, like I said before, use the term we always use for counter UAS, the careless and clueless. I really don't know a lot about this summit. And I think there are a lot of people like me, Ramon, that are out there that may not have a good sight picture on what the summit is about and how it is maybe alike or different from some of the ones we're very familiar with, right? Like we all just came back from, the Association of Uncrewed Vehicle Systems International Exponential. People know that one. Commercial UAV, right? It's coming up in Vegas. So where does this PX4 Dev Summit fit into the bigger picture? How's it alike and how's it different from the others?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you the sales pitch, but I think this stream deserves better than that. So I'm going to give you my personal take of this. So I love going to Exponential and UAV because you get the connections, like the business to business connections. You get to know what's happening in the industry. But the Dev Summit is different for both of those events in the fact that you get to talk about the engineering work that is happening right now that you're not going to see in a product until like 2 or 3 years later. Mike can speak to that because he already saw that in 2019. And you get to talk to the engineers, you get to talk to the developers, you get to talk to those companies that are pushing hardware right now, and they're creating hardware with open standards and open source. And the fact that you get to collaborate with them is so powerful. You get 2 days of amazing talks and workshops, and you get to experience that firsthand. So this is something that you would only get if you get to work at one of those companies, because you get to experience what those engineers are thinking. You get to talk to them. And honestly, we're a big community, and the community is really friendly. It's almost like we're a worldwide company that has people working for other companies at the same time. You're going to talk to hundreds of developers, but also there's going to be a lot of business decision makers, because they're there to actually take a firm pulse of what's happening in the engineering world and in the industry, so that they get to put that into their product plans of the upcoming months. So that's my take.
So I have a question about that, because I've been to some kind of engineering heavily focused conferences, like affiliated with IEEE. Like Dr. Kimon Valvanis up at the University of Denver runs the International Conference on UAS as an example. And their format includes some of these talks you're mentioning, keynotes, dinners, whatnot. But, the presentation of technical papers, is that a part of your event, or is that different?
I wouldn't say it's a robotics conference. There are some papers being presented, but it's not so strict. It's not an academia format. It's not a really strict, let's follow this rigor on technicalities. We're really open. We try to encourage speakers to be a bit more fun, be a bit more outgoing. So you can expect, if you're really new to the community, you're really new to everything that's happening within our ecosystem, you can expect to go there and actually learn from each of those sessions, instead of having to get this already preconceived knowledge of everything that it is already happening so that you can understand. No, you don't. That's not the conference that we're shooting for. We're shooting for a conference that is inclusive and welcoming to everyone.
Yeah, Don.
So do y'all have? Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, the best way I could explain it is it's like one step in between that and exponential. Actually, probably more a ComUAV interdrone level show, right? So it's less ivory tower and more like the first steps of business. Like, where does the genesis of all these good ideas that we eventually see in marketing pitches 2 years later? And what's really kind of cool is it gives you a nice like baseline for understanding what is overpromised versus what is actually possible today versus what you'll see in 1 to 2 years. I saw you smile on that one, so I guess it's an accurate description.
It is 100%. You were gonna say something, Don.
So is there an expo floor as well besides the talks that people go to where these engineers or companies have a booth and you can engage with them directly?
Yes. There is an exhibit hall. There's all of our sponsors are going to be there, and you can expect to be able to talk to the engineering managers, to engineering leaders, and play with their technology.
That's cool. So I know you don't want to make a sales pitch, but again, this is purely out of ignorance. By the way, folks, this is completely not scripted. And in fact, we flipped the script because I thought Ramón was going to be interviewing me. So
we did that on purpose.
This is really raw and real. I'm asking questions because I want to know. My question is, who are your sponsors? Like, are there any names that folks might recognize? And then are there any that are maybe up and coming new ones that people should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, definitely. So we got Out There In. They're the diamond sponsor. We got NXP Semiconductors as a platinum. We got UBFi as platinum. UBFi is one of those you should be checking out. We also have Kitty Hawk Corporation. We got Model AI, TII, and HolyPro as gold sponsors. And we have one silver sponsor, CUAV. And the after party is being sponsored by Wind Partners out of Austin, Texas. And I think you should check all of them for sure. But if I had to pick one of the up and coming ones, only because I'm a bit biased, and this is something that we're going to get into later on in the stream, but UBFi has a surprise for everyone on day one. So I think we should check that out.
Well, this sounds really exciting, Ramón. You know, I'm going to be in Houston, Texas, not too far. That same week. What are the exact dates for yours?
June 23rd and 24th, and you're more than welcome to come in.
Because, you know, the Energy Drone Robotics Coalition Summit is right there in Houston, you know, Monday through Thursday. So you've got me thinking now, buddy, of maybe changing my flight and hopping on down to Austin, which is not only a cool town, because I used to live in San Antonio way back in the day, so I know, but also just listening to what you're saying about this event, I think it would be a ton of fun. So maybe there will be a surprise on day one, me showing up. Maybe we'll even do
it. That's what I was thinking. So you should come there. We'll have our studio. So we're thinking maybe if we have the time, we can stream something. But if you're there, like, you can borrow everything we got and we can get some streams going.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll have the pro setup. So we have a comment, just a nice hello from Hatiter Nel Maver. Lots of letters jumbled together. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining the stream on YouTube. Yeah, just want to remind everybody. So on all the platforms that we're streaming to, so that's YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you are, feel free to ask questions about the summit.
Maybe Facebook too.
Yeah, we got Yazid Almadi. Hi guys, thanks for the stream. Hi Yazid. Yeah, so feel free to drop any questions while we're chatting away. So yeah, I have a question actually. Ramón,
go ahead, Mike.
You got 40 sessions this year. What's your favorite? Can you pull out some favorites out of the bunch?
Oh my God, don't ask me that, Mike. I can't pick winners.
Well, give us at least some examples. Just give us.
But I will definitely give you some exampple. Yes, I can do that. So, and
best talk title, you know that one though. What's the best talk title that was submitted?
Oh yeah. I don't know the exact title, but it's how not to bankrupt your PX4 project. by Ascent Engineering. So I know that's my favorite title, and I can say that much because it just sounds amazing. The first time I read that title, I was like, whoa, how not to bankrupt PX4? Is he talking to me? Like, is this session for me? What do you know?
But yeah, what do you know that I don't, right?
Sometimes those negative ones get your attention. When CQ Brown became the 4-star General of the Air Force, first thing he did was put out a paper that said, accelerate, change, or lose. That's the head of the Air Force.
Wow.
I mean, that kind of, like, you always just, your eyebrows just raised. That got attention.
I mean, yeah, why not? Like, and that's I think what the speaker was shooting for when he chose that title for sure. I'm definitely going to be there and check that out. Another really interesting one. We got plenty. So let me just pick one at random here. So we got how to use drone code projects for computer vision to enable drones with autonomous navigation. So that's how to use the open source projects to enable autonomous navigation with computer vision. So that's a really cool one. We got 2 workshops. Actually, yeah, we can talk about the workshops. The workshops are one thing that we never used to have before. And out of the feedback from the community on our 3 prior events, that's the number one thing that the community was asking for. We need workshops. We need to be learning more learning content. So we got 2 this year. So a PX4 Fundamentals workshop by Jinwoo Huang. That is basically a getting started with PX4. We're going to teach you all the basic concepts and everything that you really need to know to get started with PX4. For all of you that don't know, PX4 Autopilot is the open source software that runs inside the flight controllers and typically a Pixhawk. So the software that runs in there, and we're going to teach you how to modify that and all of the basic components in there. So that's an hour and a long workshop. And we also have an open standards and hardware integration workshop. That means the open standards are like the Pixhawk open standards, the flight controllers. We're going to teach you how to integrate those with PX4. Maybe you want to make a custom version of that. We're going to teach you how to do that. So that is amazing content that is happening. I can tell you also about the future speakers that I think you should check out. So we got Marcos actually from out there, and he's the VP of engineering. We got Tuli Food. He's a Roche platform manager from Open Robotics. We got Brandon Gills from the CEO of Luxonis. One of my favorite ones, Robert Maxwain. He is an aerospace engineer from NASA. NASA is using all of our technology, so he's going to be speaking about that at the summit. We got Dr. Lawrence Mayer, the founder of PX4, Drone Code, and Altarian, also speaking on the keynote stage. We got Catherine Scott from Open Robotics, developer advocate at Open Robotics, and we got Paul Stubbs, the principal program manager of Microsoft. So those are some of the featured speakers. Do you think that we got plenty of talks in the summit, Mike? We got 40 plus. I've been having so hard trouble just getting that schedule up. Like programming that was a nightmare. Like which session goes where? How do you pair them? We're going to have 3 different tracks happening at the same time. So you're going to have to choose which one you're going to go to, like which room to get to. And when I was programming the schedule, I was having such a hard time because I was picturing myself, I want to go to room A. So I want to go to room B and see this session. And I had a hard time putting them together, like putting those talks together because I wanted to see everything. And it was a rough time. So
well good news. You're running that promotion though. Remember, so we have the bring a buddy thing. If you register today
yeah.
or is today the last day? Yeah.
So let's say today is the last day. Okay. But to your point, I was having such a hard time choosing because it's just me. But why? If I can bring a buddy, right? Like I can bring a colleague or friend. So we decided to put together this amazing promotion that is buy one, get one for 50% off. So if you go out to the website, register today, you can get a discount code to share with a friend and he's going to get a 50% discount. So that's amazing. And now you can divide and conquer.
So Don's got a question. What do you got, Don?
I mean, I love look, I'm all about a bargain. I love a BOGO any day. But so with all the 40 different panels you have, the workshops, keynotes. I'm going to ask one for the ladies now, Ramon. how many women are involved in this? Because I know, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I know
No,
how
no, not at all. I
difficult
was ready for
it
this
is
question.
to find women engineers at all levels, whether it's hiring, whether keeping them if you already have some in your company, inspiring the next generation. So how's that diversity looking across, your panels? Because I know personally when I put together my event at AUVSI, the Law Tech Connect workshop, the one, 8 hours, luckily for me, I know a lot of female attorneys, and I handpicked some of the few in the C-suites and companies in the drone world that I knew. But it's not an easy task. So how did that go? How's that going?
Well, it was not an easy task, to be honest, and we're not where I want to be, to be honest. Like, completely transparent here. I wish we could have like a 50/50 at least division. We're trying to run a really inclusive event here, but I can tell you that compared to the last 3 conferences, we got a lot way better doing this. And this is one of the feedback that I got from my team, the events team. So this year we got Akshara Cheng as a speaker. We got Meg Annan, we got Ginger Sang, and we got Catherine Scott. So we got 4 women speakers leading their talks. Wish we could have more. So if an amazing engineer in robotics and you think she would be great at our event, we can still fit some more room in that schedule to
please submit.
Get them as the spotlight that they deserve.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Mike, he's talking about women engineers. My brain went right to Savannah Horan from Phoenix Group. She's the senior robotics engineer there.
Yeah, she was one of the best Dawn of Drones podcasts this year. I think she's second place, right? Not bad.
Amazing.
Yeah,
well,
and highly technical topics. So like usually
happen.
Those could be boring to general audience, but like she just made it fun. So she's clearly a talented speaker. I got a few questions or just statements from the chat. I want to bring them in. Our friend Hatiter now Maver, I wish could get the name right. Waving from Germany, just soaking in all the info. We got an anonymous LinkedIn user. By the way, if you're on LinkedIn and you have certain privacy settings, we only see you in the chat as LinkedIn user. So I'm not ignoring your name. When will the keynotes be announced? Kind of covered that, right? We got a few more that are coming out soon.
We actually did not cover the keynote announcements because we still have them on, as a TBD. I'm hoping that next week I'm going to be able to announce the keynotes. I'm working on scheduling with them. As soon as I get those schedules done, I'm going to be able to announce them.
All right. Now we got a fun question. What does the after party entail?
Yeah, the after party. Woo! So we sort of have one big after party on Friday, but there's also a reception happening on Thursday. So let me cover the reception first. So the reception happens at the venue of the hotel where we're hosting the conference, and there's going to be beverages, refreshments, snacks, and that's happening where the booths are with the exhibitors. But then afterwards, we're going to have on day one, we're going to have a quick walking tour to the Bat Bridge, the famous, I think it's Lincoln Bridge in Austin. And we're going to have a viewing party because we're going to have a drone light show happening in downtown Austin. 300 drones are going to take the skies in Austin, and we're going to be doing a 50-minute light show, which we're all going to be able to experience live. If you've never seen a drone light show, they're amazing, and you should definitely check that out. But on day 2, we're going to have an after party with the DJ and everything that entails an after party. That is happening at Capitol Factory on day 2 on Friday. So after conferences end, we're going to have an hour or 2 so you can rest, get dressed, get prettied up and everything you need. And then we're going to walk to the Capitol Factory building, which is the building across the street of our venue. And there's going to be a huge party in there. We're actually got 2 floors of the venue, so that big.
All right, so we got a couple of questions from Yazid, but I actually want to showcase the drone light show you talked about. So Yazid,
yeah. We got a video.
Yeah, and we'll demo the video now. So this is Uvify, right?
Yeah, so this is one of the sponsors of the summit, Uvify. They're one of the Drone Code members, and they're doing great right now. They're they have this platform for drone light shows, the IFO, and they've been promoting that really heavily, and they've been using. There's a lot of companies using that right now for light shows. If you go to their YouTube page, they have a lot of videos where they've used them. The NFL is one of their biggest customers too. So actually, at the Super Bowl, there was a drone light show. It was done by them. And this is. Can you scroll past this so they can see the actual drone light show? Yeah, the cool stuff.
All right, there we go.
Hey, Ramon, did they do the Super Bowl with Lady Gaga?
I don't know if they did the Lady Gaga one.
Dawn is a Lady Gaga fan.
Yeah, I am, and I'm just saying, if your DJ is there, there will be Lady Gaga played if I'm there.
Let's make sure there's Lady Gaga on that after party.
Yeah, we'll put it on the playlist.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think.
And if you're watching right now on the chat, please drop. Like, we're still planning what we want to show on those drones. So if you have any fun ideas, just let us know. Drop it in the comment in there.
Yeah, I remember meeting this team in 2019, and they were kind of just getting started, or no, they had put out a couple of drones, and I remember you telling me their gear was good, so I talked with them, and it's just amazing. 2.5 years later, this is what they're doing. This was not in their roadmap when I was talking to them in 2019. And
that's incredible. I love this one.
I mean, that bull looks crazy good. The coordination to make that happen and reliably that's a huge pivot. I mean, I'm kind of amazed and really kind of proud. I
mean, their technology is good. It's all they were able to adapt and target this market essentially. And they were, I think, the first one to offer like such a novel platform they have, and they just had a lot of success. There's a couple other drone light show companies, and I think the market right now for drone light shows is so big that it's just like with any other market in the drone industry. Like, there's such a big opportunity. Like, a lot of players can come in. One of the coolest factors of this drone light show is they're using all of our open source technologies in there. So it's not just one drone light show. It's one drone light show that actually encompasses everything that we've been working on as a community and the open source project. So that's really cool too.
All right. So I want to get back to Yazid's questions so we don't miss them. So first of all, thank you for your effort in the PX4 platform. We feel there's a bit of distance between PX4 and CubePilot. So it's distance between your firmware and one of the major shelf autopilots available. So I guess he's curious as to why is there this distance between CubePilot?
Well, we work with every manufacturer, and we try to cover as many hardware platforms as possible. But the reality of things is that there's so many, and sometimes fields fall between the cracks. We try our best, and we're always going to keep doing that. And we work with Philip Rowe from Hex, the CubePilot, and we're always trying to make sure that the hardware is supported as much as it can. So there is not an actual disconnect as in we don't work together, we don't speak to each other. No, not at all. If there's anything wrong, just make sure you report it, and we'll be happily take over and look at what any problems you might be having. But I would definitely recommend that you reach the manufacturer first and see if that's not a hardware problem. And if it's a software problem, we'll definitely try to help out.
Submit a pull request.
That is even better, Mike. Yes.
See, I know my open source lingo. So my second question is about Ethereum. So this is actually a good question. I think it'll help provide some clarity. Is it part of the open source approach of PX4, or is it an independent entity that sells their own hardware based on their business model? Yeah,
just Ethereum is their own company. They're a very big company. So they've got a lot of marketing happening. They're everywhere because they're just growing. Their businesses are growing. So they are offering a version of PX4 that is like, you could call it like an enterprise version, and they are contributing back a lot of those features to the upstream to PX4. They're the biggest contributor to PX4, the biggest contributor to PixHawk, the biggest contributor to Mapwing, to ground control. So essentially all of the open source projects. So I can see how it could be, the lines could be a bit blurry, because from your perspective, you're looking at like, here, this big company just contributing everything. Is it because it's their own business? Is it because they own this? No, they're contributing everything because they care about open source. They care about open collaboration. So that is where the difference is. Drone Code Foundation is the entity that owns PX4, and they're one of the biggest contributors. The other thing that we have in common is that their CEO, Dr. Lawrence Mayer, is also the chairman of the Drone Code Foundation. He's the founder and creator of PX4. So that might be one of the other reasons why you would be looking at it from your perspective and like, hey, this looks similar. What's the difference? And you know what? This is a very common question that I get by the industry and by folks that are new to their ecosystem. Hey, what's the difference between drone code and out there, and what's the difference, and how do we approach this? And thank you for asking that, giving me an opportunity to actually answer that live.
Yeah, the way that Lawrence explained it to me way back when, and it just makes the most sense to me. So if you're familiar with software, it's like Linux Foundation, and then Red Hat Linux, right? So like in that equation, Auterion is Red Hat or another big provider that sells into enterprises. So the reason that they support the ecosystem is because it benefits their commercial enterprise so much, because it's truly based on the health of the underlying open source code.
Yep.
So
completely.
John Wakey, or Wakey, I have to get back to work. Thank you for all the good information. And Mark Kleinhen's incredible shows talking about the light shows. So I think we're all up to date on the chat. Don, what have you learned about the PX4 Summit in this short amount of time that you found most interesting?
Well, pretty much everything, because like I said, I was starting from baseline 0. So you got all zeros in the background here to go with the theme for coding. I learned a lot. I learned, 40 different panels, keynotes, expo hall floor, networking event Thursday, big party with a DJ and a drone light show incorporated as part of this event. Pretty sure I'm changing my flight plans.
That is great to hear. Great to hear. And I think one thing that we have not mentioned is that during that same week, other open source events are happening. So that whole week, where Open Source World is taking over Austin, Texas. So it's starting on Monday, the Open Source Summit, which is an event similar to the PX4 Dev Summit, but for open source in general. It's happening on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the whole week. So on that same venue, where you're going to be thousands of developers all around the world, developers from different industries, from all the way from the cloud, embedded, Linux, and IoT. So you're going to be able to experience open source development, engineering, and if you're excited about all those things, you should definitely check the PX4 Dev Summit out.
Yeah, it's a big dev party in Austin, basically.
Basically a big open source party.
So I do have one final question, Ramon, just with my military background and how in the drone world, the commercial and military side are so symbiotic. Are you going to have a military presence here? Are there going to be, federal and DoD types contributing to your event?
We hope so. We hope so. They're really looking into open source and open standards right now. So we really hope that they show up to your event, because we're going to be talking about MapLink. We're going to be talking about ground control. We're also talking about the different opportunities there are to contribute and collaborate together. One thing that sometimes goes unnoticed is the Blue UAS effort happening. A lot of the players there are using PX4. They're definitely using MapLink, and some of those companies in the Blue UAS ecosystem are going to be at the PX4 Dev Summit. So hopefully a lot of that crowd shows up at the event.
I've run into them in the halls in the past. In fact, I met Dave Sharpen, who was still working for AeroVironment, or had just left them at that point at the first PX4 Summit. So he was recently a guest on Dawn of Drones. Yeah, I mean, these two kind of sectors, they interrelate on a level that they don't in other tech industries. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the manufacturers, like you said, are on that Blue UAS list. Got a couple more comments from the chat. So, will the summit also be streamed? William Smith.
Yes. So if you cannot attend the summit in person, you can purchase a virtual ticket and you can log in the day of the event, and you will be able to see the keynote stage. You can get to choose which room to jump into, watch all the sessions and even the workshops. So yes, everything will be streamed live as well. And then
Except
afterwards,
for the after party, you're not.
except
I hope
for
you're
the
not
after
taking
party,
people dancing.
I am going to be dancing on the after party.
But
So
you're
that's not going to be
streaming
streamed. Yeah, I'm not streaming that for sure. And neither the drone light show.
Yeah, that has to be there to experience it, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Octay Canson Emerald, good night. So goodbye, Octay.
I think we run past our closing time already.
Oh, we were 30 minutes. Okay.
We're at past 30 minutes
36.
already. 36. Well,
there was a
thank
lot
you,
to
everyone.
talk about, and we had a good time chatting. So,
yeah, one last thing I want to mention, and when the streaming question kind of reminded me, we have not actually talked about the registration. So we already mentioned the BOGO, the buy one get 50% off. But in case you don't know, if you're a student, you're a faculty, you're a teacher, you can get an even bigger discount than that. You can get a ticket for $150, and if you log in right now, you can register. That is not a promotion that's going away. That is until the day of the event. We're still going to be charging you that. So make sure you check that out. There's the virtual streaming option, and there's also the buy one get one off. If you're an individual user, you want to get that. And some of these sponsors of the summit, if you go to their website, some of them have the 20% discount code happening too. So maybe you can use that as well. So make sure that you check their websites.
all right. Anything else that or are we signing off?
I think we should be signing off soon. And I want to thank you again, Don and Mike, for your time. Thank you for this amazing stream, and thank you for inviting me to your Full Crew, Full Tilt and your Twitter spaces. I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. And thank you for inviting us. I mean, it's always fun to chat. It's fun to bring Dawn along because we haven't gotten to do this yet. So this will be a precursor to you showing up on Tilt and Spaces.
And the stream is she's going to be doing at the summit too.
Yeah, live from the floor. Woman on the street.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you, everyone in the chat. And until the next one, goodbye.
See ya.